Uniform Civil Code has been going on in the news for many reasons. Now let us understand first the concept of Uniform Civil Code. Uniform Civil Code is a concept enshrined in Article 44 of the Directive Principles of State Policy in the Constitution of India. It proposes the idea of common set of civil laws for all citizens of India regardless of their religion to replace the personal laws that are currently in place based on religious communities. India follows a system of personal laws for different religious communities. For instance, different set of laws govern matters such as marriage, divorce, inheritance, and adoption for Hindus, Muslims, Christians, Sikhs, and others. These personal laws are based on religious scriptures and traditions and can vary significantly from one religion to another. The idea behind the Uniform Civil Code is to promote national integration and equality by providing a uniform legal framework for civil matters. It aims to eliminate discrimination based on religious beliefs and establish a common set of laws that applies to all the citizens equally. However, the implementation of Uniform Civil Code has been a topic of debate and controversy in India for many years. Various religious and cultural groups have expressed concern about potential infringement on their traditions and beliefs. As a result, successive governments have not been able to pass a comprehensive uniform civil code applicable to all citizens. It is essential to note that directive principles of state policy, including Article 44, are not enforceable by the courts. They are merely guidelines for governments to follow while making laws and policies. Therefore, the adoption of Uniform Civil Code ultimately depends on political will and consensus among various stakeholders in the country. Now let us discuss various pros and cons of UCC. Let us first discuss the pros of Uniform Civil Code. Uniform Civil Code in India have several potential positive aspects that proponents believe could bring about social, legal, and gender equality. Some of the positive aspects include gender equality. One of the main objectives of UCC is to promote gender justice and equality. Many personal laws in India have discriminatory provisions that adversely affect women's rights, particularly in matters of marriage, divorce, and inheritance. A uniform code could provide a more equitable legal framework for all citizens irrespective of their gender. Next, secularism and equality before the law. A UCC would uphold the principle of secularism enshrined in Indian Constitution, treating all citizens equally under a common civil law regardless of their religious beliefs would reinforce the idea of equality before the law and a uniform national identity. Next, simplification of legal processes. The existence of different personal laws for various religious communities can lead to legal complexities and confusion. Implementing a uniform code would simplify legal procedures related to personal matters and create a more straightforward legal system. Next, protection of individual rights. A UCC could potentially safeguard the rights of individuals, especially those belonging to minority communities, from discriminatory practices existing in certain personal laws. It could act as a protective measure to ensure that basic human rights are not violated under the pretext of religious freedom. Next, social harmony and integration. A common civil code could promote social harmony and national integration by fostering a sense of unity and a common identity among citizens, transcending religious boundaries. It could also mitigate communal tensions arising from differential treatment under different personal laws. Next, progressive outlook. Implementing a UCC could be seen as a progressive step towards modernizing and moving away from patriarchal practices and gender biases prevalent in certain personal laws. It could reflect a commitment to a more egalitarian society. Next, uniform application of laws. A UCC would ensure that the same laws apply uniformly to all citizens, regardless of their religious background or community. This would help eliminate legal discrepancies and create a fairer and more just legal system. Next, facilitation of inter-community marriages. A common civil code could remove legal hurdles and complexities faced by couples from different religious backgrounds when they seek to marry under a single legal framework. Now let us discuss the cons of the UCC. The UCC in India has been a subject of criticism from various quarters. Some of the main points of criticism are violation of religious freedom. One of the primary concerns raised by opponents of the UCC is that it might infringe upon the right to practice religion freely. Different religious communities in India have their own personal laws based on their religious scriptures and traditions. Implementing a uniform code could be seen as a threat to these customs and religious practices. Next, the cultural diversity. India is a country with diverse cultures, traditions, and customs. Critics argue that a uniform code might undermine the rich cultural fabric and diversity by imposing a one-size-fits-all approach. They believe that respecting the unique identity and practicing of various religious communities is essential for maintaining social harmony. Next, gender biases in existing laws. While proponents of UCC argue that it would promote gender equality, opponents point out that certain personal laws are already biased against women. Critics contend that instead of imposing a uniform code, the focus should be on reforming existing laws to address gender inequalities within each community. Next, political implications. The issue of UCC is highly sensitive and politically charged. Some critics argue that political parties may exploit the UCC debate for electoral gains, further complicating the matter and hindering genuine discussions on the topic. Next, social backlash. Implementing a UCC could lead to resistance and backlash from religious communities that fear losing their autonomy in personal matters. This could potentially create social unrest and divisions. Practical challenges. India's diverse legal landscape and coexistence of various religious laws create complex legal scenarios. Critics argue that formulating a comprehensive and equitable UCC that addresses the intricacies of different religious practices would be challenging and might lead to unintended consequences. Next, need for broader reforms. Instead of focusing solely on uniform civil code, critics suggest that Indian legal system should concentrate on broader legal reforms, particularly in areas of family law, inheritance, and property rights, to ensure gender equality, social justice within each religious community. Conclusion. It is important to note that the debate surrounding the UCC is complex and nuanced with various opinions and perspectives. Any decision regarding the implementation of uniform civil code would require careful consideration of the concerns and aspirations of the stakeholders involved.